All right, what's up, y'all? So, this was the first pack of notes or first PDF of notes that I sent out to you guys, and I want to really break this down, okay? So, first of all, called the Book of Sticks, you already know. My sources is the Emerald Tablet. Okay, so first of all, and if you hear me pausing, it's just because I'm getting water. So, first of all, what I want y'all to know is that wisdom is very powerful. Wisdom is power, and power is wisdom. The reason why is because as long as you are knowledgeable about something, as long as you know why this is happening, you know the background of it, you're powerful because nobody can trick you, right? If you have ever wondered why someone has grown such a strong aura, most likely 10 out of 10, it is the knowledge that they carry. So, I always tell people too, people always be like, well, why is it that, like, don't mind me, I'm not like on an ego trip, I'm just keeping it a buck. Some people may be like, why is it that you're so attractive or this and this and that? It's because of knowledge and wisdom. When you have knowledge and wisdom, right? You have the wisdom to know, oh, I have to love myself, right? So because you have the wisdom to know I need to love myself, you go through the practice of loving yourself, right? Or when you're out of balance, you know why you're out of balance, which is why you're always able to keep your frequency high. Now, if you have a high frequency, people can feel that because it's energy. But honestly, confidence is stemmed from wisdom and knowledge, right? Because the thing about it is that, like, if I tell you 1 + 1 = 7, you gonna tell me no, it does not. Like, and you're not gonna let me tell you that because you know the truth. Because you're confident in that. Period, right? And that makes you seem more attractive, more this, more that, right? And let me give you an example, right? So, for example, you go through the self-love process and you know that you're special. You know that you're different. You know that you're connected to the divine. You know these things. So you're going to be more confident about who you are. But it take you to know, knowledge, know those things, right? And it's funny because, look, know, knowledge, right? So when you are born, you are given the seed of life. Now, a lot of you guys may not know about the seed of life. Let me see. Seed of life. So look, you see seed of life. When you are born, you are given the seed of life. When we seek knowledge and wisdom of the universe and of ourselves and follow our source, God starts to flower this seed. Now, what this means is when you start to seek the divine, right? Because when you're born, you're planted with this seed, right? Seed of life, flower of life. Think about those things, right? Remember those. You're planted with the seed of life, right? So because we are children of the sun, really think about how a plant grows. Because we are children of the sun. Wait, before I say that, right? Think about how a plant grows, right? So a plant grows mostly from the sun, the energy that it receives from the sun, right? But here's the funny thing. The sun gives off information, right? So check this out. Because we are children of the sun, we are birthed with an inner flame, right? Because we are the sun, that means that the sun is within us, meaning we have a light. When you see people shine, it's because they have learned more and more about themselves to more and more about themselves and about the universe, right? To create a glow around yourself. That's why when people glow up, they're glowing. That's because they've learned something. They've reached another level of enlightenment. They've learned from their mistakes, and that's what's creating the glow on them. So, to create a glow around yourself and shine that no one deny, you must seek the knowledge of the universe and of yourself, because that's the only way you're going to be confident of who you are, by finding the time to be like, you know what, let me figure out who I am. And when you find out who you are, you're going to be confident in who you are, because you're going to know, oh no, I am like this. I don't like that. I want to do this. I don't want to do that, right? And nobody's going to be able to, you know what I'm saying? When you're insecure, you're able to be easily manipulated because you're looking for validation outwardly. When you gain that knowledge and wisdom, you're not looking for nothing outwardly. Seeking wisdom and knowledge is simply learning things such as chakras, what is meditation, manifestation, basically learning about the universe. That's all it is, learning about the universe, right? When you do the things of good and of source, you become powerful and godlike. See, that's what people don't want to tell you, right? When you become one with source, what do you think you become? Godlike. Because guess what? Source is God. People like Jesus and all other gods were all normal. They just ascended and strengthened their superpowers by listening to the universe and not questioning it, right? Because think about it. Jesus healed with his hands, quote unquote, right? And I don't really believe in the whole Bible, but I'm just giving you an example. Jesus healed with his hands. What is that? Reiki. That is a practice that you have to continue working on, right? Boom. He who has not even a knowledge of common things is a brute, right? Let's look up brute so we can understand. Let's look up brute so we can understand. A savagely violent person or animal. Basically an animal. You are an animal among men. He who has an accurate knowledge of human concerns alone is a man among animals. But he who knows all that can be known by intellectual energy is a god among men. Now let me tell you why you are a man. A brute among man, right? Because guess what? When you don't have no control over your ego, right? You're greedy. You're greedy. You know what I'm saying? That is like an animal. When you don't have no control over your ego, you are like an animal. Now, and you're not aware of the ego, you're definitely like an animal. Now, when you become aware of an ego and you're working on it, you're a man among brutes because you're understanding the part of being a man, being a human, right? You understand what comes with it, right? Now, when you control this ego, you become a god because you've released this dark part of yourself. Period. A seed can always be grown. Due to listening and obeying to God's source, the seed of life flourishes into flowers. Going back to the seed, right? So the sun gives us that information. The universe gives us the signs and the information of what we have to do. Now, it is only when you follow it. It is only when you follow it will you start to flower that seed in you. Period. Right? In obedience to the law, the word of the master grew into flower. For only in the search for the truth could my soul be stilled and the flame within be quenched. For only the search for the truth. Meaning that, listen, no physical thing is going to have you truly satisfied. Because you're always going to want more, right? And that can stop. Like, you can get everything you want and still not feel satisfied. But guess what? You can always search for the truth. You can always learn more. Right? And the more and more you learn, the more and more you brighten this flame, because the more and more you become of the light. The more and more you become of the light, the more and more you shine. Long ages I dwelt in the temple, learning ever and yet ever more wisdom, until I too approached the light emitted from the great fire. Meaning, only will you get that great light, that great fire, until you seek wisdom and knowledge. Right? And the reason why people tell you to know thyself is because only by knowing yourself could you know the universe, because you are the universe. Only by seeking wisdom could his flame reach the level it did. Learning more and more wisdom created a flame in him that started to shine. Right? And these are the breakdown of these notes.